Assalamu alaikum everyone. Hello children. How are you all? Hope you are staying safe. Alhamdulillah. Welcome back to our science class. In our previous class, we learnt about food and its importance, isn't it? And today, let us learn about food spoilage and preservation. First, let me tell you what is food spoilage. It's an undesirable changes in appearance, texture, odor, and flavor of the food. Based on its spoilage, food is classified into three types. They are highly perishable, semi-perishable, and non-perishable. These highly perishable food items get spoiled within a couple of days. They need refrigeration. And semi-perishable food stays good for a week to few months. And non-perishable food items stays good up to an year. Look at these pictures. Bread, milk, and fish. They do not last long if kept at room temperature. What causes food to become spoiled? Microorganisms.
Microorganisms spoil the food. Ma'am, what is microorganisms?
Microorganisms are tiny living things. They require certain conditions to grow and reproduce. Food spoils due to microorganisms, mainly bacteria and fungi. As they grow, they release chemical substances. Some of these substances are poisonous. They can cause food poisoning when we eat them.
Ma'am, in what conditions do microorganisms grow?
Microorganisms grow in all these conditions. Inshallah, let's learn about them in detail. First and foremost factor responsible for spoilage is air. Microorganisms need air to grow. Moist air in a dark place will help the microorganisms to grow rapidly. Microorganisms cannot grow without air. And next comes water. Microorganisms need water to grow and reproduce. They remain inactive in the absence of water. And the next important factor is nutrients. Microorganisms need nutrients to grow. For example, milk left too long at room temperature turns bad. Milk has a lot of nutrients for microorganisms to grow. Microorganisms can grow and reproduce at a temperature of 37 degrees Celsius. Most of the microorganisms become less active at the temperature of 0 degrees Celsius. And most of them die at a temperature of 100 degrees Celsius. And next, microorganisms also need suitable acidity to grow in. Microorganisms cannot grow in a very acidic medium. Therefore, microorganisms cannot grow in food which is soaked in vinegar, because vinegar is very acidic solution. Microorganisms are living things. They need air, water, nutrients, suitable acidity and suitable temperature to live in. So, in order to prevent our food from spoilage, we should learn about food preservation.
What is food preservation, ma'am?
The process of storing the food materials for a long time without being spoiled is called food preservation. Food will be spoiled if it is not prepared, preserved, and handled in a right way. There are many methods to prevent, delay, and reduce the spoilage of food. Food preservation is very, very important because cultivation of food requires a lot of efforts. Nowadays, food cultivation and the crop yield are decreasing. There are many people suffering in the world without food. So, we need to protect and preserve the food. The following are the ways to preserve the food. Let's look at them in detail. First comes drying. Drying is a process of removal of water content from the food by drying it in the sunlight. Drying is the oldest method. This method can be applied to preserve grains like rice, wheat, maize, and cereals. These dried items can be stored for a long time. And next very important method is salting and sugaring. Let's first learn about salting. It is one of the oldest methods where salt is added to the food in order to remove water. Food products like pickle, fish are preserved by this method. And next comes sugaring. Can anyone tell me what is sugaring?
Yes, ma'am. It is the addition of sugar to the food.
Exactly. You got it right, dear. In this method, the sugar added to the food get dissolved in the water content of the food and preserves the food items from spoilage. Food items like jam, fruit juices are preserved and stored by this method. And next method is canning. In this method, food is packed in airtight cans so that microorganisms do not grow on them. Food products like meat, fish, milk powder can be preserved by this method. And the next way of preserving the food is by the addition of chemical preservatives. Chemical preservatives are added to stop the growth of microorganisms in certain food materials. For example, sodium benzoate is added to the fruits. Sulfur dioxide is added to the dry fruits. And vinegar is added with pickles. Our next very important method of preservation is freezing. In this method, we can control the microbial growth by dropping the temperature. And food items like fruits, vegetables can be stored. And next comes boiling. Boiling liquid items can kill microorganisms present in them. Mostly, water and milk are boiled to kill microorganisms. And next, let's ponder over the purpose of food preservation. Children, do you know why we preserve food? It's because food production has increased due to modern technologies. Yes, agricultural practice is abandoned in many places as there is failure of monsoon. At the same time, many people suffer in the world without food. So, food should not be wasted by any means. Preservation of food is important in order to retain the color, taste, and nutritive value of the food, to make the food available throughout the year, to prevent the growth of microorganisms like bacteria and fungi in the food items, and to reduce the wastage of food items. Preserving the food not only protects our health, but also makes food available to the people who need it. So, my dear children, please don't waste food. Eat what you take and take what you eat. Children, remember, every 3.6 seconds, a child dies out of hunger. Try to empathize today's world. Think before you waste food. As Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, eat together and do not eat separately, for the blessing is in being together. So, my dear children, learn to share your food with those in need. That's all for today. Inshallah, I'll meet you with a new topic in our next class. Till then, stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you. Jazakallahu khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.